Hello, fellow cultivators. Welcome to the final tier list for the rewrite destinies in the game Tale of Immortal. And this is the final video of a series of videos where I talk about different rewrite destinies in this game, and including some basic knowledge like how do you get them, how do you change them, what's the difference between sector destiny and normal destiny, what is the series ones, etc. etc. And then there's like 10 videos ish about, or 12 maybe, about basically I introduce you what are each of the destinies, what do they do, and are they useful or are they useless. And of course there are a few disclaimers I want to put here. And first of all, it's my own opinion, and so it might not be correct. That's just like that. And the second one is the criteria for this is really just focusing on min-maxing, or basically how effectively you use this destiny. These destinies will help you in your build against mostly enemies like mythical beasts, etc. in the chaos mode. And so that's why there are actually a lot of destinies which are actually really fun, and I really recommend you to take it if you're not playing chaos, because sometimes they have really fun effect, but here we are really in a min-max sense. And and if you want to know more details, you just check out other videos in this entire playlist, because this video is the final one. I will just throw in all this, not all of them, because I selected about 30 destinies here, and as you can see on the screen, I will throw in all of them and make it into the tier list. So I don't think I need all 5, to be honest, and I think I only need 3, because let's say I will say the D one will be the most useless ones, which actually are most of destinies in this game. So let's delete it. And C ones will be actually the ones which are somewhat useful, or say they can be fun to play in a normal game mode. But if you really want to min-max, you are not supposed to take them. Delete that. Okay. Oh, I don't want to show any ads, so let me try not to show this. Okay, and the criteria is for the S tier, I will put it as something like it's almost good for every single build. And maybe there are like 1 or 2 builds in the entire game that those destinies are not useful for them, but otherwise it's almost good for everyone. And basically you see it in your playthrough, just take it. And for the S tier, that's how it is. And let's put in, actually I will do it this way, I will directly throw in things I saw there. So Blood Power 1, definitely there. And I will also put Concealed Nirvana, Murderous Rise, and surprisingly I will put Water Burst. So these 4 destinies is what I consider as S tier. And for a quick explanation, Water Burst, okay, maybe Free Spirit. Let's make it 5. So Water Burst and Free Spirit are actually somewhat in the edge, in the sense that Water Burst is great for almost everyone, especially you take it in early game, and it's quite good, really, really helpful in early game and middle game, and it's also not only good in damage wise, but also very good quality of life change. Basically, it helps you a lot in your progression. And even in late game, I think it's okay to keep it. I mean, you have 9 slots, and I would say it's worth to keep it 1 for Water Burst, unless you're really for some specific build that you need all 9 slots. But even though otherwise you can still, delete it and change it to someone else in late game. And Free Spirit is entirely opposite. It is probably only useful in late game, and in the sense that Free Spirit allows you to use the abuse. Let's use the word abuse. Moon is out, and basically you can use that to kill every single boss without them even ever wake up. It is so powerful. It's technical wise they should be probably number 1 or SS, but I personally don't like it because I really think it's not considered as abuse. So still, it's really powerful. I put it here. Then these 2, Concealed Nirvana and Murderous Rise, I've already said that this is the best defense destiny, and this Murderous Rise is the best offensive destiny. Murderous Rise can really bring up your damage really good, and if you are focusing to build up your critical damage. And Concealed Nirvana, of course, it basically limits how much damage enemy deal to you to 15% of your maximum HP, and that is extremely powerful, and basically, I think you can take it for every single build. And Murderous Rise, I mean, apart from Hillbreaker Feast, which is technically still the most powerful build in the world in this game that it cannot crit. So apart from that one, everyone else you can take Murderous Rise. And for Blood Power 1, this is actually combined with Concealer Nirvana, because Blood Power 1, first of all, it is just like Water Burst. You can take it very early, and it is very good. It is a quality of life. It helps you basically save you a lot of pills. That's one thing. But also the fact that you cannot take a life-threatening damage, mostly, okay, with Concealer Nirvana, and then you can always leech all your HP back. And Blood Power 1 combined with Concealer Nirvana really allows you to change your play style, even in chaos, into something like you just get really close to the enemy and attack, and by attacking you take back all your HP. And that is actually quite important, because many builds really relies on that you apply the buff effectively and then detonate the buff so that you can deal a lot of damage. So yeah, in general, these 5 are what I consider the best of fates in this game. Now the A tier, I would say they are in generally quite good, and they are useful for many builds, sometimes essential for many builds. So like I would say, for example, Water Burst is not really essential for any build, but it is good for everyone, so I put it in the S tier. But A tier, I want to put things like, if for some builds they can be essential, which means they will be more important compared to Water Burst. But for some other build, it is not that important. So those ones I will put into the A tier. And let's look at things here. Of course, Blood Energy 3. I would say Blood Energy 3 sometimes is almost can get into S tier in my opinion, but that's what I like it about. So it allows you to, there are 3 tiers. It allows you to use skills without any mana. If you just use your HP instead, that's one. And second, if you're using those skills with your HP, you have 20% more damage increase. That's already better than things like this one. And third, it will have 25% damage increase, I forgot. And then you have 20% of cooldown reduction, and that is really, really powerful, and it allows you to reach 0 cooldown for special skills for those builds. So in that sense, just for the power-wise, I would say Blood Energy 3 is much powerful than Water Burst. But if you're not really trying to get 0 cooldown special skills, then you don't need to take it. And that's why I put it A tier in the beginning. And the second one, right now I'm not putting it in the order of powerfulness, okay? Even the first one is not really in the order of powerfulness. But just how I see it first. For example, combat expertise. As you know, here it's purple, but there are 5 different combat expertise. There are for weapon, for bare hand, for wind/lightning, for fire/earth, and for wood/water. And all those combat expertise, obviously you're not supposed to take all of them. You're only taking one, depends on which build you are. And for many builds, it is actually essential, because in this game, many ultimates you cannot really use it without combat expertise. If you're trying to make a build wise, so this allows you to use ultimate and immediately, and it's really powerful, essential for many builds. But again, as I said, it's not always you need it. And for example, some really powerful ones, you don't really need a combat expert to cast them. That's why I put it again in the A tier. And the next one I will put in the A tier is, I want to put this actually, martial skills specialization. Now, this one is actually, again, if you are using a martial skills, basically 6 martial skills, then you can always take it in early game. You won't regret it, I would say, because first of all, it's a series destiny, and first of all, it's very powerful. Second, it's a series destiny, which means when it gives you 3 chances of rewriting it when you're just using one rewriting item. And if you do not understand what I'm talking about, check out the first episode of this series. So in the late game, once you get a Nether Feather, you probably don't need this one anymore, and therefore you can just get rid of it, and you got 3 chances of rewrite destinies, and I think that's really good. And in the early game, it really helps a lot for many any kind of martial build, I would say. And for things like finger or palm or fist, I think it's even better. And then, of course, we got Spirit Fusion. It's similar to martial skill specialization. Sorry, I always say specification. That's just my mistake. And I would say powerful-wise, it's even better than that because Spirit Fusion is powerful in late game. Initially, it feels like not really good, but also for many builds, I mean, in many old guides you will find on internet, not mine, you will find Spirit Fusion is recommended for almost every build. And just because, people like it, but in my opinion, it's not that great because just from the cost effective wise, you are spending more mana, but for less, the skills with less damage, like 30% of original damage. That's not worth it in most of the case. But for some builds that, for example, summon builds like wood or earth, then your summons are not really weaker, therefore they become just good. And you can quickly build up your summon number and make them even more powerful. Also, for things like water, you don't anyway do not have any MP issues, so Spirit Fusion is great for that. And but for many other builds, I don't think it is useful. And also, I mean, there are extreme cases like someone may claim that, oh, any build is, if you have Spirit Fusion 3, you use a Fire Phoenix ultimate, you combine the combat expertise, you'll be better than every single other build. Technically true, because if you manage to summon like 4 or 5 Phoenix with generating a tons of 100 Fairy Flames, yeah, technically, yeah, that is better than everything, but that first of all, 25% chance to have that happen. And also that is just such an extreme case. So I would prefer not to talk about that. And then Supernova Sword. It is one of the most fancy Destiny, and many people see my video and talk about and ask me the question, what is that? A lot of rotating spinning sword about it. It's Supernova Sword. It is great, fancy, and if you're not playing Chaos, it's probably the best thing you can take. As good as Water Burst because it will clear up everything for you. You don't even need to do anything. But in Chaos, its damage source become kind of negligible unless you have some kind of true damage, for example, Blade of Heavenly Eye, or if you want to apply some buffs, or not really buffs, sorry, trigger some buffs, so that trigger some effects such as lightning bolt. So for lightning, Supernova Sword is actually essential, and also it's really good for any true damage build. And I was thinking of putting Blade of Heavenly Eye here, but then maybe not. Instead, I will put Tiger Spirit, Dragon Soul here. And this is also because, again, it is really great in early to middle game, and it helps a lot. Not only deals a lot of damage, but also it can soft stun the enemy, so it can make you a bit safer as well. In late game, its damage falls off quite a lot, and especially if you have a laggy computer, it can even make your damage lower. But that's not really the game's fault. And there are several buggy things about it, but I have to talk about it in that video when I talk about sex destinies. So I put it in here. And yeah, I think that will be everything. So the B tier will be something like two types. One is either they do its thing, they do its thing, and if you have several slots left in your build, like for example, I have a build with Blood Power, Conceal Nirvana, and Murderous Rise, these 3 essential ones. I got one, for example, Blood Energy 3, this takes 3, so that's 6 slots, right? And got Combat Expertise probably, and basically I got 7 slots here. I still have 2 slots left. I have something to throw in. Does it work job, make my damage better, or make myself more tankier? Yeah, I will. That's the best out of them. I will put in the B tier. That's one thing. The second type is it's kind of really niche. Like it's only good for that one single build or 1 or 2 single build. It's bad for everything else. But yeah, I will also put it here. So, and also I do not want to make them 2 different tiers because that makes it feel like, okay, but this one is worse than that one, but not necessarily. For example, Blade of Heavenly Eye is really great if you want to do a true damage build. and it will be better compared to things like Alchemist Stories Perfection, for example. But if I put that type of niche use into C tier, then give the build feeling that they are worse. So let's not do that, and I will throw everything into the B tier. I know that's a bit weird, but that's what I will do. Or I don't know. No, maybe I should add it one. Let's just add one. Add row below, but I want to choose the same color and call it BB maybe. No, okay, can't. So okay, this is B. Actually, what is this? I'm really sorry. Okay, and let's call this BB. Alright, so B is for things are generally okay, and BB is for things are niche and good. So let's put this guy into B, because this is generally okay. It makes 25, it's very simple, 25% damage increase for your martial / spiritual skills. Yeah, this guy, same thing, always summon better, 30% damage increase and 20% of damage reduced for everything if you use your ultimate twice. In a way, this is better than that, but I would say it's the same thing. Burning Bat, only good for like Fire Tornado build if you want to increase your speed. Bad for almost everything else. Blade of Heavenly Eye, I would say put it here as well. It's only good for true damage build. For, again, Fire Tornado build if you do not want to use a palm. Internal injury palm martial skill. If you want to use any other skill, it's good. And it's really good for wind build. Counter attack. Oh, maybe. Counter attack. Maybe I should put it here, because it's one of the best damage dealers, to be honest. And yeah, I will probably put it here. It's good. It's just really good for damage. And you kind of need blood power, or if you are blade, unless you are blade. Oh, right. Forgot to mention, blood power is good for everyone apart from blade. Just like murderous, right? It's good for everyone apart from Hillbreaker. And Cold Divine Light in general does its job, stun the enemy 5 seconds for your ultimate, and really good in early and middle game. Conflagration only good for almost one single build, that is the avatar build. If you want to know what is avatar build, again, check out my channel. It's hard to explain. Cloud Pierce Lightning, in generally good. It does its job, 30% damage increase. You have super fast. Most likely you are 20% damage increase for everything. Deeper tile footwork, or diaper, I don't know, deeper, diaper. Yeah, does its job. And if you kind of need to, it does its job, basically make you tankier once you use a motion skill. Following Bug 4, obviously that's the best example of BB. That is that, yeah, it's only good if you are using the dragon spear, plain dragon stuff. Lightning burst. Okay. So lightning burst changed between A and BB, but I think it belongs to A because it's good for every zero cooldown build, and including nearly zero cooldown things like Water Sword, Gale Sword, and of course any spear build. So it's good for almost everything, and it combined with Tiger Spirit Dragon, so it's quite good. So I would put it in A rather than B. But yeah, it's kind of in the border. Okay. Mirage Miasma, only good for some summon build, and it's not like you actually need it. Actually, I will put it here. Or maybe. Yeah, it's somewhat between B and BB. Thing, in the sense that, yeah, it's good for summon build, but only, and also it's like if you do not have it, it's not a big problem there. So it's kind of like a B. Mirage Pod, similarly, Mirage Pod and Unfettered Cultivator are, how do I put it? Let's put it here. It's nice to have this thing if you want to play a alchemy cultivator. It's, when you have like 2 slots left, you have nothing else to do, yeah, do this. Take this. No Trace Left in Snow is similar to that. Again, it's kind of good in like Burning Bat. It's kind of good in a build like. So should I put it here or here? It doesn't really matter. I would say it's only good when you are playing a fire tornado build, because that will make you run fast. But in general, it's nice to have it, because unlike burning bud make you take more damage from back, no chance levels make you more tankier. So in that way, it's more generally good. Raging Flames, obviously here, there's no doubt. I mean, it's basically the same as Alchemic does, perfectly, just make your ultimate better. Rolling Word in generally good if you want to be more tankier, so like Deeper Tail Footwork. And yeah, let's put No Trace Left in Snow here, because it works nicely with Cloud Piercing Lightning. And Raging Flame and Cozy One Night works nice together. In a way, let me put it like this. Yes, so Always Armor Better again works nicely with, again, it's out thing. The word together. Funny. I will put it somewhere here, probably. Yeah, it can allow you to one-shot everything if you have enough damage amplification with fairy flames. So if you're playing a fire build, take this guy. It's funny to see how it just kills everything without doing anything. Now, Unfettered Cultivator, as I mentioned before, it's nice to have you are playing a rogue cultivator, and otherwise, it's quality of life thing, and also a role play thing. And finally, Warlord's Phantom, definitely BB, because it's probably only good when you're playing Hillbreaker and a certain type of Hillbreaker Fist. And many people say, oh, but it's really good, work really good with Blade. But as I mentioned, Blade basically means blood power, and everyone should take blood power. And the Soul Quartz give you a second life thing. If you actually think about it, doesn't work like that. It's the same thing as if you do not have it. I think more like a new player, easy to get fooled by NPCs who have it and thought it is really great. And I think this will be my tier list. And notice that BB and B are actually similar tier in my opinion, because they just serve different uses. And yeah, should we just type this? Good for everything. Good for everyone. Essential for someone. Let's say great for someone. Generally okay for everyone. Great. And this one will be niche. So I think that will conclude everything. I mean, I might miss some fates here and there for in these two category, in my opinion. Generally okay for everyone and niche category. So, and also if there are some fates that you find are really nice in your playthrough, they are probably really good. I mean, I'm not saying everything else is useless. For example, Joe's Flying Sword and what is it called? Mysterious Shield. They are really nice to have, especially if you are playing a lower difficulty, and I found it really fun to have them as well. So if you want to make it up, they can put it into the generally okay for everyone. But it's just I don't think, if you think about it, I don't think they are as great as these ones. And I'm sure, yes, there is this thing, Earth Shattering. Yeah, that's basically a lower tier of Murderous Rite. That should be here, just near counterattack, basically. Or it's like generally okay for everyone, like here, but it's quite powerful as well. So, and I forgot to put it, that's how it is. And yeah, that will be everything. And this will conclude this series of Rewrite Destinies. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. And don't forget to leave a like or subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and see you.